Alright, good Friday, guys. So here it is, 7 o'clock at night, and I'm getting prepared for the weekend. So I thought before I get started getting my shop organized here, I thought I'd give you a little pre-tour of my shop. I got a lot of projects planned for the next few weeks, and now that I've gotten over that cold I had, I'm ready to get started. So as you can tell, well, it doesn't look like much, and it takes a lot of work to get it ready to actually get any work done. So, you know, I usually spend a couple hours getting set up and getting ready, and it's just not conducive. And, you know, a lot of times I get up on Saturday and just say, nah, and I go do something else. Well, I want to do woodworking. I watch these videos, I comment on these videos, and I want to be more than a spectator in this hobby. So it's time to get busy. So anyway, let me set this camera up and get you a few angles of this shop and show you what I work with. So out here, we got some bikes here. Well, they got to be moved out of the way, because at 6.5 feet tall, I hit these things pretty frequently. So can't have these here. Got my table saw tucked back there. Got my bandsaw cart with a bunch of my other tools on it. So everything's got to move around. It's got to get kind of moved into the garage. Cars go out. Got my wood over here. Got my bench up against the wall there. That's just, yeah, that's a disaster working on. So that's going to change. So yeah, it's interesting to say the least. Alright, so any tech heads, you might, if you can see them, recognize these. These are some server racks I salvaged out of the trash. I took 2 out of 5 of them and been kicking myself ever since I didn't take all 5. These things, they are awesome storage. So this is where I keep most of my hand power tools. I got my hand tools here. Yeah, they're a mess. So it's yeah, it's tough to work with. Here I got a little workbench my dad and I built about 15 years ago. It's got a fold down top made out of MDF. It's been really good. I used to do a lot of electronics work on it. So yeah, I'm going to move this around. Want to do some changes to it, make it a little easier to use, a little better storage in it. So, but yeah, love that thing. So finally back here, I got pretty much all my woodworking hand tools. Got my planer here, my chop saw. Of course, got my shop smith here, not working, so it's just in the way right now. So hope to have it working here soon. So yeah, this is where all my hand tools go, up on the pegboard. It serves its purpose, but I want to do something different with it. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do, wrap up this video, and is give you guys an idea of what the process is for me to set up and go to work. And I think you'll understand why I don't do more projects. Okay, so here we go from the bottom. This is pretty much what it takes for me to get some work done in my garage. So let's get going. Alright, well, it's kind of the short version of it. Depending on the project I do, yeah, it might take me a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. So, but yeah, that's the short version. So anyway, now, how am I going to make this easier? Well, let me get you in here closer and show you. Okay, so how am I going to make this easier? Well, this is one thing I built this year. Unlock these wheels here. It's my bandsaw cart, and I was really happy with this build. Originally I had my planer down here, but I decided to put my compressor, air compressor down there. Got my sander, I got both of my jigsaws down there. Of course in my bandsaw. So this has worked out really good for me, and it's kind of helped compress a lot of my tools into one place. Doesn't take a very big footprint, and it's easily moved anywhere I want it to go. So that was one of my summer builds last year. So anyway, so let's get this out of the way. Possibly. Okay, so I built this cart 5 or 6 years ago, and originally this was for my chop saw, and as you can see it pretty much just holds a lot of junk. So I'm going to go through and get rid of a lot of this junk that I don't need.
Did you know that no matter what
And I'm going to put my planer on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten it a little bit. It's a little high. I'm going to put, probably put different casters on it. Not quite sure yet. Because these casters don't lock. So I'm not entirely sure I need it to lock. So, I got cracks in the garage floor that work good for caster locks. So, anyway, but what I am going to do is I'm going to extend the table out a bit. Very similar to what Drew Short did with his planer. Because the one thing with this planer, there's just no in feed, out feed on it. And this thing gets really bad snipe. So I'm going to extend it out maybe 14, 16 inches on each side to help get rid of the snipe off this machine. Other than that, it does a great job. So shorten it up a little bit, put a cabinet under it for my box of strange cutoffs that I have, that my wife seems to think I can do something with, and someday I plan to. So this is actually this weekend's project. My goal is to get this done. So once that's done, then it's time for workbench. So now let me bring you over here and let me show you my workbench. Okay, so workbench. My head's probably getting cut off in this shot, but I want you to see the workbench more than me. I use this one a lot. It's screwed into the wall. It's really solid. I built this about 5-6 years ago, and it served me well in 2 different houses. But it's time, I want to be able to get around my work, and having a wall in the way is a little inconvenient. And it's definitely going to be a lot easier to move the bench than the wall. So, I was looking at different bench ideas, and I just got really enamored with those monolithic monuments of manhood type of benches, and similar to like Drew Short's. That table saw cabinet he built is amazing, and all the functionality and the storage, and it's just, that thing's a piece of art. But I don't have the space for it, so let me show you here. Okay, so we see lines in the garage. Yeah, these are your, stress cracks, that you put in, keep your garage floor from cracking up. Well, that second one, that would be my boundary. I am not allowed to cross that unless I'm actively working. So if I put a big 4x8 table saw bench, cabinet, router wing and all that good, just awesomeness in it, I'm not going to have any room. And I'm going to be in the same boat I'm still in. So I saw Steve Ramsey's video today, and that 4x4 bench he did, or rough size, whatever it is, it's pretty amazing. And yeah, I got thinking about it. I really don't need much more than that. So I'm going to build a little freestanding 4x4 bench. Recycle this, and I think that's going to work well for me. And then instead of building my shop, instead of building my table saw into it, I'll just build a separate base for my table saw. Maybe another little cabinet for it to just hold my table saw and build it to where it's at the same height as my bench, and that way I've got my outfeed. So yeah, I think that's the route I'm going to go. So what else to show? So currently my work surface I'm using is this bench I built. I used the plans from Ron Paulk and his Ultimate Workbench. I bought those from him. Well worth the money I spent on it. This has been really good in that. Well, it's pretty dang strong, holding my 300 pounds. So it's been really good, and I plan on keeping this for some extra workspace. I'm going to put a French plate on the back, hanging on the wall, and just kind of get out of the way when I'm not using it. So yeah, this has been really good, and it's helpful. And it's nice having one that if I got to do some work in the backyard, I can carry it around in the backyard. Toss a couple sawhorses under it, and we call it good to go. So yeah, I'm going to work this, and then I'm going to use this idea for the top for my bench that I'm building. Probably going to go 4x5. I think it's the size I'm going to go. Not going to go any bigger than that. So anyway. Once again, Steve Ramsey. This was a great project. It's a great design, and boy, does it suck up a lot of lumber. I had no idea I had so much lumber, and the thing probably weighs about 1,000 pounds now. So it's challenging to move. So it pretty much stays here until I at least get some of this lumber out of here. So it pretty much stays where it is. But it works out. I mean, if I gotta move it, it's a challenge. So let's talk about the wall. I just think the only word I have for it is disaster. It's just a hodgepodge of pieces of wood. Got a little adjustable shelves over there holding most of my computer parts, electronic stuff. Of course, again, got my pegboard here. It's got some tools on it. It's pretty packed up, so I want to do some more with that. I'm going to replace it with a French cleat system. I want to go take everything off the wall, and then I want to go probably 8 or 10 foot French cleats, and just run them up the wall, maybe space them 12 inches apart, and just go up the wall with them. And just give me a really, really good adaptable storage system that I can use. Maybe build a shelf for this French cleat on it. My little workbench I got there. Put a French cleat on the back of that. I can move it around. So yeah, that's where I'm going with it. So if you can imagine, I've got a pretty busy month or so ahead of me, but thankfully our weather is really nice. We got our 3 weeks of cold, so now it's warming back up again. So hate summers in Vegas, but boy, the winters are great. So anyway, that's about all I got. I think that wraps it up today. Can't think of a whole lot more to say without sounding like I'm rambling. So I think, with a little help from my buddy Jack, I'm going to go wrap this video up and upload it to YouTube. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.